Don't get blindsided by these 7 costs that most buyers don't think of when they're buying a home. That's right, there's 7 major costs that happen in the home buying transaction that you may not have thought about. And we're going to dive right into what those are. But first, my name's Kinn, and I've been a realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex for over 21 years. I've literally helped thousands of buyers navigate the rough waters of buying a home. And there are 7 main things that you want to be aware of that may cost you a little bit more money than you've already budgeted for. The very first one is an inspection. We have a whole video on an inspection, what they do, how we choose the right inspector, and how they're very beneficial and why you need one. But you need to budget for one, because oftentimes you also need a wood destroying insects inspection as well too. You can tie those right together. Typically an inspection will run somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 to $700, depending on what other things are involved in that inspection. Is there a pool? Is there a septic system? Other things that may add a little bit more money to it. The second thing you need to budget for is earnest money. Now, earnest money is your security at the title company that you're purchasing that home. It typically ranges between 1% and 2%, but it is a negotiated item between you and the seller. The seller may ask for more, you may want to do less. But the typical average here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is anywhere between 1% and 2% of the purchase price. So let's say you're buying a $500,000 home. That would mean earnest money wise, you would need $5,000 to $10,000. Now, the nice thing about earnest money, it does get applied towards your down payment and closing costs. So it's not necessarily lost money. It's just invested money for the closing. The third thing is your option money. Now, this is a standard thing that you should do for an inspection. This is what you pay for to have the period to do your inspection and negotiate any repairs. Typically, option money ranges anywhere from $300 to as high as maybe $1,000 or $2,000 if we get into the upper end properties. But typically, you're going to be right around that $300 to $500 range in option money. This gives you the right to back out of the contract whenever you see fit within that 5 to 7 day window. All you would lose is the $500 or $300 or whatever you negotiated. Now, if you go through with the purchase, you get that applied towards your down payment and closing costs. So again, another investment. The fourth thing is your survey. If the seller does not have a survey that they can transfer you, a lot of times your lender is going to require that you get a new survey. And that's basically the land survey. It'll detail all the easements, where the building lines are, very important things for the mortgage, but also very important for you in the future if you want to add things like a pool or a gazebo or any permanent structure outside in the backyard. The next thing is utilities, and that would be item number 5. A lot of people skip utilities, but a lot of the utility companies have gone to asking for a deposit, especially if you haven't had a utility bill in that municipality before. So let's say you're moving from another state here to Texas, you will probably have to pay a deposit for your electrical and gas and your water bill. So just another thing to think about, that's typically around $400 in expense there. I didn't mention on the survey, so we'll go back to that the survey actually will cost you about $550. Now, if you're buying acreage property, that can escalate into the thousands of dollars pretty quickly. The sixth thing we want to talk about is the appraisal. The appraisal is necessary if you're taking a loan. That costs about anywhere from $500 to $700, and it basically is certifying that what you're paying for the home, it's worth. So it's definitely worth the money, but it is a cost that a lot of people don't think about, and it is an out-of-pocket cost. You typically cannot roll that into your closing costs of a loan. The last thing we're going to talk about are the specialty items, pools, septics, HVAC. If any of those come up on the inspection report that they need further inspection, I would always do them. Simply, I would pay for a pool service. That's going to be about $350. They're going to check every gasket, every valve, make sure that it's good. The septic system, same thing. See if it's been pumped out. Does it need to be pumped out? You can get into thousands of dollars of expenses if it's not been maintained correctly. So it's important to spend a couple $100 for that inspection. And then the HVAC is your heating and air conditioning unit. You definitely want to get that checked out in more detail if it does come up on the inspection report that it does need some issues. So those are 7 things that could kill your deal because you didn't budget for them. And we don't want to see that happen. So hopefully this gives you a good list of what you need to have for not only your down payment and your closing cost money, but these other 7 items that could cost you and could cost you getting that home. If you would, please like and subscribe to this channel, as it means the world to me, and it helps grow our audience to other home buyers that want the truth about what's happening in our market.